bullet journals, art projects, organized planner chic.
Well, hello. I welcome you to Organized Planner Chic. I'm Lucinda, and when I was trying to decide what to do for my theme for September for my bullet journal, I decided to go ahead and do a survey or a poll in my Organized Planner Chic crew Facebook group, and I gave them like several different ideas of things that we could do for September, and the overwhelming majority chose to do fall leaves. So I kind of went on the internet, Googled, looking for leaf ideas, and I found that it seems that, well, I guess there are only a certain number of leaf designs, scientifically speaking, and so I was looking for so many different ideas, and there were several, but a lot of them seem to be kind of close to each other. So if you see here on my sketch, they're different, but there still are probably maybe 3 that are still pretty similar to each other in shape. And I think the different colors that they turn whenever the temperature changes everywhere except for places like Arizona where I live now, but it's more of the change of color. And so I made sure as I got finished doing this sketch to kind of try to make sure I had differing colors and not too many that are too similar to each other. But it took forever for me to do this sketch because I did draw all of the veins for all of the leaves. Of course, they're not 100% realistic looking, but it's a little more detailed than a typical doodle. And so I did, like I said, I drew all the veins, and I found when I was looking at the leaves, the real life leaves on Google, that a lot of them, the veins are parallel to each other, like they're exactly in the same place on both sides, but some of them they kind of staggered a little bit. So here I'm erasing the pencil marks because I did sketch it with a pencil before I did it with ink, but when I erased it, it took away a lot of the ink, and so when I scanned it, it didn't look good enough to me for the free coloring page, because all of my sketches that I do for each bullet journal for the title page, it becomes a free coloring page in my Organized Planner Chic crew Facebook group, and it didn't scan very well, so I went back over and made it darker, and then I went on a separate sheet of paper because I did everything on mixed media paper for me, so I wouldn't be reprinting it whenever I do the coloring page, and so that gave it some more depth whenever I scanned it. So like I said, I drew or wrote out September on a different sheet of paper and used some double-sided tape and put it on there, and then it gave a little bit of depth whenever I scanned it. And I'm using some off-brand, I think it's called what is that called, Touch New alcohol markers that I just stopped using and went back over to Tombow right there. But those I got really cheap through AliExpress, and then I wanted to make sure, like I said, that I had different colors, nothing too close to each other, and so I broke out the Tombows and I broke out the Crayola Super Tips so I could have lots of different shades to work with there. And as you can tell, you can't really tell because I'm using mixed media paper, you can't really tell that it's not all the same family of markers. I've got alcohol based markers and I've got water based markers here, and yeah, I know this is sped up really fast, but it took a long time for me to color all of that, but I got it all done. And then I'm doing my goal page here a little bit different than I have done it in the past. Oh wait, watch this. This is going to look like a kind of horror film of someone raising their arms up. But it's not. It's a tree that I'm doing here. Just weird that it looked like that for a second. But typically on my goal page, I had a tiny calendar of the month, and then I had like significant dates for the month there, and then I had my goals all on the same page. And I decided to do that a little bit different this time. I'm drawing my little leaves here for my tree, and I'll be coloring that in, but I won't make you watch all of that coloring. It's going to kind of fill in here in a second, and then I'll draw not all the veins, but a lot fewer veins here. And so here's how my goal page looks now. It'll have 3 personal goals, 3 general business goals. I always wind up adding more on there than I can really do than the 3, but I'm going to try not to do that this month. And then I have Etsy and YouTube, and it's a little more detailed than goals. It's basically all of the Etsy products or changes to the products I need to do for the month, and then all of the YouTube videos that I need to do for the month. And then I'm going to go in and add a little bit of color because, as you can tell, I really love color and I just have to put it here. So I'm even going to add some color here to the words personal, business, Etsy, and YouTube, just because it makes me happy. And then I felt not completely happy, and so I had to put some around the goals. All right, so and also earlier you saw a little cardboard piece of paper, not cardboard, piece of cardboard, and then here just a moment ago I was kind of raising my hand up after tapping on the color for the title page, and that was because the alcohol markers, you have to make sure they're completely dry before you put pressure on another page and do more work, or it'll just wind up transferring. So that's what I was doing there. And so now in the past several months I have not done a full calendar for my calendar in my bullet journal. I've been doing that traditional bullet journal, or the original bullet journal design, where you have the month written across the top maybe, and then you just have 1 through 30 or 31 depending on the month going straight down the page from the top to the bottom, and then the days of the week, the initial like M for Monday, T for Tuesday, going right next to it. Well, that got it kind of boring, and I really never looked at my calendar very much. I did, but not that much. It wasn't fun. And so I went back to this old way this month so I can make it look prettier and more fun and more interesting, I guess. And so now I'm doing some more leaves, and I decided to kind of make sort of a branch in between them. I'm not sure if it turned out exactly what I planned, but it's okay. And so I'm just underlining my September, and now I've been using this page for last several months, but totally different design. So I wanted to be more fun this time for my wish list and waiting on, and so I drew some really big leaves. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to fit in there, but I'm trying not to really spend very much. So I am figuring on the smaller, a little bit smaller leaves. I'm just going to put the sort of wish ones, and then on the bigger ones, the waiting on, because hopefully I won't be waiting on very much. So I'm not going to draw the veins on these because, no, I did draw veins on this. I forgot. So then I'm going to have to just make it, use some colored pens to put the information so that they stand out, or a lot bigger lettering or something. All right, so then this is my habit tracker we're working on right here, and I always have daily, weekly, monthly, and every 2-week habits. And so I'm numbering them there on the left side because it goes so, the days of the week go so far across the page that sometimes you might lose your spot. So that way I can kind of count down from the top toward the bottom and then look over and make sure I have the right number that I'm counting, that I'm marking it for. And then over here I've got the weekly. I accidentally here in a second put monthly at the top, but I'll fix that in a moment. So basically we're averaging 4 weeks a month, and so this is where I'm writing down things that I want to try to do every month. And then also under that, so I'm fixing that because I had daily, it should have been monthly, or I think I had weekly. Should have been, yeah, I had monthly, should have been weekly. Okay, and then I've got the monthly habits down there, and those, I'm trying to think an example of something I do once a month. Oh, pay the kids' college bills. That's an example. And then I've got twice a week, and right now I only have one thing, but I left room for another thing in case I might want to do that. And I've got some more room left on those weekly and monthly as well. And then I changed it also. I used to have a lot more daily, but I moved that to my business bullet journal. A lot of those things, and weekly ones as well. And there I've got some little leaves coming off of a branch. I think that turned out cute. And of course, more color. I tried not to overdo it too much this time. I may have, but I can't help it. And then I decided to separate my physical and mental health. I put it together last month, but this time I'm going to put all of my physical therapy. So I printed out these little sheets that I can stick every month for my physical therapy for my, well, this one is for my shoulders. So the ones for my hips and knees and back. Actually, I don't think I have my back on here. I didn't have a sheet that was narrow enough or that I can make small enough to fit on there that I could still read and see. So I just write those out. But the other one for the shoulder, I have that on there for my physical therapy I need to do regularly. And then my cardio, which for me, because of my knees, is the stationary bike. And so I try to do that 4 times a month. And then I'm going to add another tree here, and let's see how these leaves look on this one. Oh, this one I wanted to have a little bit gloomier look, more of a cold fall day, and so I made the grass basically, you know, dead grass and darker leaves on the tree, but then I add some, well, a darker background, and I add some colorful leaves because I like color and I just like the way that looks. So I did add veins on those as well, and definitely some color across this background because I love color. And I even added more, I think, on this one than I did on the last one, just because I just wanted to. Okay, and then this one is the mental health one. So I'm going to have 2 different trees. One is for sleep because I do have trouble with sleeping, and then the other one is with anxiety, and in a moment I'm going to add depression to that as well, you know, feeling down or panic attacks or worrying, any kind of thing like that. So here I'm drawing 31 leaves on the tree, and then I'll have a legend there at the bottom. And I drew this one kind of as I went, but whenever you see the next tree, I don't think I kept it where you could watch me draw it, but I did draw the shapes of the leaves on the outside first and then filled in the leaves on the inside to make it a rounder tree. So, you know, they kind of look like 2 different trees since I'm tracking 2 different things. And it was a lot easier to do the tree that way on the right as well, by shaping the tree first and filling in the leaves. So I'm just putting the different types, you know, basically got a lot of sleep, kind of got a decent amount of sleep, then had a great night's sleep, and, you know, bad day, moderate day, horrible day in terms of anxiety. And then I just decided to go ahead and add depression on there because it can lead to that. And so I'll color those in and we'll see how I did that month. And then I've got the first week of the month here. And this design that I am doing here, I've been doing for, I think, 2 months. I'd have to go back and look. This will be the 3rd month, I believe. July, I think maybe June, July, August. This might be the 4th month. But, and I do change it by doing different types of art, but the layout is pretty much the same. So I'm tracking here every week my weight, my Bible study, my gratitude, my hydration, trying to do 8 glasses of water every day, and then the days of the week. And then also with each day of the week, you'll see here in a moment that I'm putting the highs and lows for the temperature, and I'll always write next to that whether it's supposed to be sunny or rainy or cloudy or what have you. And then under that I'll put a box for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and 3 snacks, so I can track what I'm eating and look at that along with my weight. I pretty much know what things make me gain weight, and I try to stay away from sweets, but I'm getting more desiring, gosh, I can't speak, of sweets every day. I've always liked them, but I'm really liking them a lot right now. So then there's a place for the week of the year and a relaxing activity due every day, and then 10 things to try to accomplish that week. Sometimes I try to do way more than I can do. I do over plan a little bit, and I'm trying to get better about that. Some weeks I get every single thing done, and sometimes I get half or 3/4. You know, there's just no perfection in that. So there's all my colorful leaves, and of course I'm adding color every place that I can imagine. And that's I think about it. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. All my subscribers get an additional discount from my Organized Planner Chic Etsy shop where I make traveler's notebooks and all the accessories that go with them. And then also, if you haven't, be sure and check out the Organized Planner Chic Crew, which is my Facebook group, and there you get the free coloring page that you download, and I make one of those every single month. And if you have any questions about anything I've done in this video, or if you would like to see any new stuff from my channel, I'm all about traveler's notebooks and bullet journals and art journals and all things art. Until next time, everyone, happy planning.